Shut up, compressor. It is time to start throwing some paint. And I'm going to start with a bit of night camo black, mainly because we're working with some areas where there's aluminum popping through, and spraying insignia blue over that will be weird. Plus I want to get some variation baked in underneath the blue, and to do that I need to start from somewhere. So we got the trusty PS770 out. Goal is to avoid building up massive ridges. One of the ways of doing that is to not spray into the mask, but to spray from over it. Go ahead and get under here. I gotta remember to add a little bit of tape there first. Hold on 1 second. So under here, we've got one little stretch of area right there where this little doomajiggy rises up. And we need to make sure that it's covered. Okay. Now we should be ready to hit the bottom side. This one will be interesting because there's a whole lot more ground to cover. Let's make sure it's burnished first. Son of a bitch. It's in the wrong spot. It's too far in. All right. Okay, so a little bit of quick surgery later, and we're back up and running, ready to go. This actually fits a little bit better, so that's good. That's it for the night camo black. I don't know where the thing went. Is that it? Okay, next we're gonna put down a little bit of sky gray. It kind of goes against my tenet of putting down a lighter color, but we're gonna hope that it shows up. So the goal here is just a tiny, tiny, tiny amount. We're gonna, surprise, come in with an even lighter tone on top of this. I don't know if it'll work. So the next color entry, we got to be careful with this one, is light Arctic gray, which does a very nice off-white. Now we need to be careful because we don't want to build this up at the edges. My goal is to use this for essentially sun fade on the insignias. So it's not going to go on the bottom because the bottom didn't sun fade. But in here, absolutely. All right, we're almost ready to start throwing insignia blue. Almost there. Okay. Okay, now it's time for some good old insignia blue. It's getting there. It's going to take a little while. That's good though. Trying to see if that's dark enough. It's looking really, really blue, but we're also dealing with black next to it, so. Okay, so I think we're done spraying the insignia blue. We've got it down here on the bottom. Got it here on the sides. And we have it on the top. And this top one is honestly the most faded out, which is good. It's barely faded, but it's a thing that is happening to it. Go ahead and sit for a bit, and we're going to come back and do the stars. So a quick status update. The insignia blue has been sprayed, and the blue masks have been applied. These are honestly the diciest part of masking anything, in my opinion, is once you get the base color on an insignia, all the little other bits. On the US, it's the blue. On RAF roundels, it's all the different concentric circles, etc. So they are now good to go, and we are going to spray some insignia white. The star is tough because it's avoiding that that whole spraying out over something is really tricky. Or sorry, the star is tough because that whole rule of avoiding spraying into a mask is really tough when you got these little spaces. you get the idea. I will switch back when we're not doing the fuselages because these are kind of tedious. Okay, so I've gone ahead and sprayed the white on the insignias, and I've also sprayed these white patches on the fuselage sides here where I'm going to put the fuselage codes down and then put the mask on top and then get to painting the rest of it for two reasons. First of all, getting back here on the tail is going to be really dicey with the K, and I figure if I can just place the letter down instead of trying to fit the whole rectangle there, it'll be a lot easier. Also, the blue portions, or the blue camo, the dark and light, goes around the national insignia here, and so I figure having the codes can also help me figure out the exact lines and all that kind of stuff. Now, I did have a little bit of a hiccup on the fillet. I stupidly didn't finish masking it all the way before I sprayed the white, and I got a little bit of overspray on this side and on this side. And on this side, I tried to spray over it, and it didn't quite work, so I tried to remove it, and that didn't. So I'm going to need to patch that up and fix it up a little bit. Nothing too bad. I might even be able to do it like much later in the build, but I'll probably try to knock it out tomorrow. On this side, I got some overspray on it, and luckily enough, a Q-tip damp with Mr. Leveling Thinner was enough to swipe the white away without destroying the clear coat. If you really rub on it, the lacquer thinner will break through the clear coat, and it will break through the K-Colors aluminum, but if you just do a quick swipe, it takes away overspray like nobody's business, which is probably a good thing for me to know as I get down to the underside. It's a good option for cleanup. So that is basically where it's at. I will also, let's see, here's the underside insignia, which mostly came out well. You know, I got a few pockets of lift in places right there, right up there. So I'm going to have to come back at some point and touch those up, but I don't think that'll be that bad. I'll probably hit them, after I mask them, I'll probably hit them with the fiberglass brush real fast just to kind of knock them down a little bit, and then spray a little bit of black and a little bit of insignia blue, and we'll be good to go. So that is where the jug is at the moment.